Find yourself venturing into a world that is unfamiliar to you in every single way. All you have to your name is your wits and a broken phone that has no internet. But wait, you have the MidFall Podcast in your hands. Here you can listen to the tales of your three hosts, Luis, Josh, and Jared, as they venture through their own creative woes and whatnots. Get ready to be entertained through your wildest dreams as you conquer and face this new threatening world.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 11 of the MidFall Podcast. I am your host for today, Luis, joined by my boys, Josh, or Yosh, and J-Rod.
Yo.
Hello.
So, for today's episode, I wanted to talk about a couple things, okay? We're going to switch up the formula just slightly. We're going to be hosting separately throughout the weeks. Today's my day to host. So, I wanted to bring up the content that is now out in the world, okay? That is Black MidFall, Jared and I's project that we have been working on for 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's been a while that we've been working on it. Mainly just it started by me sending Jared beats, Jared sending them back, and yeah, it was, then like the vibes started getting put together and all that stuff, and then this month we just were like, okay, let's go ahead and do it. So it is now out there on Spotify, well, everything. But Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, you guys can find it anywhere, everywhere, and anywhere. The link tree will be down in the description. Also in the link tree, you guys will find some more content, because we don't just do music. You will also find the No Respawn channel. The No Respawn channel being our gaming channel, being pretty much, at least right now, led by Yosh.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and fill us in on what you've done so far, what you have for the people lined up.
Yeah, so No Respawn was a channel name that Luis and I and a friend of ours were talking at the time, and we were like, okay, let's get a gaming channel started, because it's something we knew we wanted to do it for MidFall all along. Like, we knew from the get-go it was one of our plans to have a gaming channel, because it's something that all of us share in some way, that we like to play games. Doesn't really matter exactly what game it is. Like Jared, for example, plays some Nintendo focused games and some older games, and I play some games that are mainly PC focused and stuff like that. So there is a future for No Respawn to where, different members of MidFall can record videos, and either myself or whoever's editing at the time will edit those videos to be on No Respawn. So it'll be a gaming oriented channel, but it doesn't mean it's just going to be video games. Like right now we have about almost 8 or so videos of Sparking Zero of me playing it, and I think there's still one I have to edit of Luis whooping my ass on Sparking Zero. It was even at first, but then Luis started warming up. But I gotta edit that video, and that'll be, I think, the 8th video or the 7th video of Sparking Zero. And then I'm gonna try to get a few more Sparking videos out. There are some already uploaded, but they're not public yet, just so I have a little bit of a breathing room to get some more videos recorded and out. I do want to launch a series of videos where I'm playing a lot of indie-focused games. There's this new fishing game. I don't know if you've seen it, Luis, but Jared might have. Have you seen that new fishing game on Instagram that's blown up a little bit, Jared?
No, I don't think I have. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily remember the name, actually. Let me look it up. So it's a game it's like a wholesome fishing game. It's like an indie game, and in this game, I think it's called web fishing. I think I just found it. Yeah, web fishing. You kind of play as like a cutesy chibi animal, and you're just fishing, having fun, chatting with other people, I think, too. So playing indie games like that, maybe some that haven't blown up yet too, is the goal of No Respawn. Doing Let's Plays and series is of course the goal as well. Some
nice.
of the games that I normally play as well would be fun. Yeah, I think like any comfort game. I'm not huge on comfort games anymore, but like recording them. But when I am like just chilling on my computer, sometimes I do play a comfort game or two. Like when I was a kid, Roblox was my comfort like platformer game. So I could see some Steam games ending up with the same thing, especially if they don't require me to like think constantly. So No Respawn, I'm rambling right now, but No Respawn's basically going to be a place where a lot of our video game gaming videos come out, and also whenever we do meetups, we know that we want to do like IRL game type videos. Like for example, if we were playing Monopoly or freaking any card game, for example, just figuring out how we want to do that. Any like party style thing would be on the No Respawn channel for now, and maybe in the future we'll make another channel for that. But I could see No Respawn being video games and just gaming alike for the three of us and whatever friend joins us for those videos.
Yeah, exactly. Right now we're pretty focused on trying to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, because we have plenty of interests and stuff like that we all want to just kind of expand on. Especially me, like I really like horror games. I know like the freaking new Silent Hill game has probably been, it's been out for a while. Everyone's probably seen everyone play it, but maybe like live streaming it, doing something, like having us hang out and actually like devote time to putting, just devoting time to this stuff would be nice. So, yeah. That is probably going to lead me on to my next question. Not my next question, but my first kind of topic. Wanted to go ahead and ask you guys about music, right? We just put out an album. I wanted to have the opportunity to talk about like my influences, like for my music. Jared's got a way of rapping and writing his lyrics that is pretty cool. So obviously, like, I want you to get your chance to expand on that. And Yosh has expressed some interest in getting into some music. I had to very much just, overcome some fears and write for Black MidFall. So, hopefully one day we get a Yosh track with some vocals on it, because there is actually one in existence, but not on Spotify. And hopefully we can do that again, because we made some magic. We could have made the new freaking hot summer single, of the year that we made it.
Oh yeah, but there's also that one time where we were in LA. I think it was this year, wasn't it? And Jared and I stayed up trying to make that song.
Yep.
Dude, that song was actually so much fun, because Jared and I were like, I was throwing stuff at like on the paper, and I was like, Jared, what do you think of this like type of lyric? And Jared's like, oh, you could do this with it and tie it into this. And Jared was just like, I don't think people realize Jared is really good at tying in things. Like if you give him a few words, he'll figure out a way to make it sound like it was always planned to be that way on the lyric. It's really hard to explain, but Jared knows what I mean when I say it, because he was doing that with me and it was super fun. He made it really fun to write that song that we tried to work on. We almost finished it. I think it's because there were certain parts that I didn't like, and then I never ended up redoing the vocals because I had to travel back home or something like that.
Yeah, once you end up looking at the lyrics, it's really something. So, yeah, for everybody, I produced the album, and then Jared engineered it / co-produced with me. Great job on freaking everything, because again, we put this really together throughout the month of October. Powerhouse this man. But yeah, just I felt like Halloween had to be the time to drop it because, I mean, just due to the style of the music that I like, I always wanted to make something of this sort of aesthetic because, you know, I've explained this to Jared multiple times before, but like sometimes when I try to sit down and produce something, I often don't make what I want to hear. It's odd, but like because I just throw stuff at the wall, I'm like, I'm gonna keep going, and I'm like, ah, dang. Well, I like this, right? It's like obviously influenced by the style of music that I like, but it's not something that I personally like listen to, but I'm like, oh dang. So honestly, it's kind of like, oddly enough, producing my own music has led me to being like a lot more open to music again, because I think in high school I was pretty open, but like not too much. And I stopped checking out music, and now into my adult life, I'm like, oh, I'm actually checking out like music now to just go ahead and grasp like inspiration, and just mainly too inspiration as a guide, because when I get lost in those like, ah man, what do I do now, I want to delete it, I can remember this like song that I heard and be like, oh, they went about it like this way, so I can go ahead and also probably tackle it from that similar angle. Yeah, so for basically what very much inspired this one, this album, are my 3 favorite artists, I'd say. Yeah, my 3 favorite artists, and 4 actually. So, the first 2 were Bones and Suicide Boys, because they were essentially what got me into making music in the first place. Because I always liked listening to music and I always wanted to play an instrument, but it never was like, oh, you know, I never had the discipline to actually like sit down and do it. So, and then also, I thought that mainly like, because I mainly listened to like rock and metal and stuff like that, I used to think that, oh, I need to play an instrument to be a musician. And so never thinking like, oh, you know, I'm actually gonna be considered one if I like arrange stuff on a computer, you know. But yeah, so where am I going with this? Basically, yeah, I started making music because when I heard like especially Suicide Boys beats, I was like, oh sheesh, if I were to make music, this is kind of like the aesthetic that I was going for. Like this is like what I would actually like want to kind of sound like similarly. And because at the time I didn't think like electronically produced music could sound this dark, obviously not realizing that like this electronic music and whatever is what helped, you know, my other 2 favorite artists that I'm gonna go into, which is Korn and Slipknot, you know, also kind of get like their point across, you know, to make them sound good, to make their instruments sound good, and like, you know, whatever. But yeah, like visually in the art style, wow, actually visually in the art style, now I can kind of even see how like the freaking first album, if you guys look at like the first album cover for Slipknot, you can kind of maybe see some inspiration for like the album cover of Black MidFall. Not even just thinking about it now, I literally just thought about it, but like in the colors and whatever. So yeah, you know, the whole atmosphere and everything too. So that's kind of what inspired me. And then lately too, I've been listening to DJ Screw. So yeah, that was Spinning Round was the last beat / song that was like really made on this album. So yeah, it was the last beat. It was like the last new beat. So that's where like the influence from my vocals on that song came from. And also Phasmophobia, for anybody listening, that was the inspiration for the song as well. J-Rod, Yosh, Louis, we go ahead and explore our house. It's haunted and all that. So yeah.
It's a little spooky.
Yeah. So I wanted to go ahead and ask you, Jared, what are some of your, musical inspirations for your music and your, since you produce so well and everything, or a lyricist.
So when it comes to me, I have my own, core inspirations on how I go about the music that I make, but also I like to take inspiration from what I'm currently listening to as of, the time that I'm making something. My core inspirations, I would have to say, obviously, you know him, you love him, Mr. Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Kung Fu Kenny, has been a very big inspiration to how I go about music, purely from, not only from a lyrical standpoint, but also from a storytelling. If you don't know anything about me, my biggest dream has always been to story write, and through music, it has become a wonderful avenue for me to write stories that I really think about on a day-to-day basis and put it out there for everyone to experience. And the lyrics are just kind of like the more like the icing on the cake, to me. But yeah, Kendrick Lamar, he's been a incredible inspiration to me when it comes to storytelling. If you ever listen to albums such as Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and even recently, or even like Section 80, those were very in-depth with their story writing from beginning to end, and it never felt like it strayed away from the actual message that was being written. Secondly, my other inspiration from a creative standpoint would have to be Tyler, the Creator. If you have listened to his recent album, Chromacopia, that was a good album. His own type of...
I'll check it out. I've heard a song.
Yeah, it's very honest album. If any of y'all have listened to Kendrick's Mr. Morale, you kind of start to see similarities between not only, I guess message was really just you could see very similar messages and just that honesty being projected into music, which a lot of artists are, but this whole album is just honesty personified. Tyler, as of recently, I remember listening to Flower Boy. That was the first Tyler project that I heard back in college, and I instantly fell in love with it. I explored his older discography, listened to his new stuff, obviously, and the way that he was able to totally just steer into a whole nother vein of music instrumentally and even just topical was very inspiring, and it allowed me to really kind of see, what can I do as an artist to be different from everyone else. That's my biggest thing when it comes to making music, is just to sound different, just to be myself, talk about the things that I want to talk about, and instead of the typical stuff that you hear from mainstream. Not to bash anybody who does it, there's a lot of creative people who do it, but for me, I just like to talk about different things.
Check out Siren in the Distance on Black MidFall, out now.
Oh yes, brother. Oh yes. Oh yes. And honestly, making that album was, while, you know, obviously, like Luis said, it was made in the span of basically a month. And, you know, and obviously, you know, when you're working with music in that small of a span, there's gonna be, you know, stressors, there's gonna be a lot of work that needs to be done with it. But honestly, it was a lot of fun. I give much props to Luis for really putting his foot out into the bigger music streaming world. This is his debut album, so, you know, I want to give him props for not only producing the whole damn thing, but also even writing lyrics for it. It was his first time, and honestly, the man did good. Listen to Spinning Around. That is one of my favorite songs of the entire album. It was honestly sublime.
So then, both question for you guys: What's something you learned while making this album together about either yourself or just like in general about making music?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. One thing that I've learned about myself is that when
he can crank them out.
Actually, yes, that's actually the point I was about to make, because before we decided to jump into this project, I would have a lot of moments of writer's block, you know, producing, even just like mixing and mastering problems, because, you know, it's just kind of like that inspiration. I need that inspiration, but having that minimal amount of time to really just like get this album done and really wanting it to get it out during the time that we were planning to, you know, all this inspiration just came out of nowhere. You know, I was writing like whole versions of verses, multiple of them. Luis would send me what he did for his. I'd be like, okay, let me just write something entirely new to fit with what he's saying, you know, just to give good continuity within the project. So honestly, it taught me that, like, with the right motivation, you know, and the right focus, then, you know, sky's the limit.
Dude, likewise too, because same thing with me. I'm like, okay, fuck. It's like having those like adult moments when you're just like out in the world and like you have to act like when you're at a job or you're in school, you know, you're out, you're like, I gotta do this, you know? So that's how it was for me on the album in terms of at least like just putting lyrics out there, because it was like, okay, like spinning around, sheesh, you know, like, that one I just want to also highlight, because same thing with the whole like writer's block. I kind of felt it too, but then we had another song that was gonna be on there that I was just like, yes, it fit, but I feel like this one could fit. I feel like I can make something that could just fit better. Like, let me just go ahead and do something for it. And that's what Spinning Around was. It was also like a different kind of vibe than what I had made before, but it just flowed so well. That was like, okay, like, you know what, like, let me just make something that's myself, that's me, like, whatever. And yeah, so then, yeah, so for me it was just like, you know, I can just go ahead and do it. I'm gonna go ahead and just act because I have to. And then two, what I learned about each other is that we flow so freaking well. Like, we actually do flow like well. Like, we are like, we get each other, like, type shit. So like in that sense, so, you know, it's like cool having a friend that like sees that stuff and then we're able to, you know, do it. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and capitalize on it once more, because I think that somewhere along the way, like because Josh knows, like I've felt that way with Josh, since childhood, where I was like, Josh, like I feel like you and we got something, like we can definitely like be personalities, not necessarily personalities, but like we could be entertaining, like we can have a platform, like we can do something, and same thing, like now we're actually doing it, and I figured why not put myself out there like musically as well, along with everything. So yeah, I just got cool people around me, we all want to do cool stuff, and we're just trying to show that all off. So that's what I learned, and to just look at it that way.
Yeah, I agree. I could see us really, it's just about being consistent and staying with it, and not consistent like, oh, every day we're going to be on, but more so we're going to be making sure we have things that are out, whether it be like no respawn videos, new music, new albums. Bless you again. But bless you again. Oh my god. But it's just about really just holding ourselves accountable, because it's really easy to tell someone, hey, like you said you would get this out, why isn't it out? And then they say, oh yeah, my bad, because of this. But it's not easy to really tell yourself that you're the reason why you didn't get something out, you're the reason why this didn't happen. So it's really about just, in a healthy way, keeping ourselves accountable and keep on making the stuff we want to make, because there is going to be people that are attracted to what we make. There's no question about that. We know that. And so that's why we're still doing the podcast. It's kind of why we've invested so much time into the podcast every week, and why we see ourselves doing gaming videos and such, because we know there are people out there that will appreciate these things as much as we do. And so we're trying to stay true to what we believe in. And those are currently some of the things we believe in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Eloquently put.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, I guess, to ask you a similar question though, Yosh, what are some of your musical inspirations that you kind of want to, how do I say this? Put your own take on, like when you kind of, because if you have that like still itch to want to get up on a song, like what do you kind of see yourself as, Mr. Jack Harlow Jr.?
I think like the first thing that comes to mind is actually Mac Miller. I like the way that he spins words together and it flows really well. So I think finding my own flow of my own words, not trying to replicate what he does, but trying to really evolve myself and make music that I feel is natural for me. That's what I wanted to do, because for him it felt natural to sing and rap the way he did, and I want to find the same with music that I make. So I don't want to sound like him, but I want a similar like thought process when it comes to music.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, Mac Miller, I can definitely see that, dude. The Mac Miller thing, like, yeah.
Brother Mac Miller's W.
Yeah, I love his music.
So now I wanted to go ahead and ask you guys, basically, like, besides music, or going back to the gaming stuff, actually, what are some of you guys' favorite games, like from childhood? We've mentioned Sparking Zero before. I grew up with Budokai Tenkaichi 2, Jared with 3 on the Wii of all consoles. But a lot of people apparently got their start on that as well, which I come to find out.
Yeah.
So
smoked his ass on a Wii remote. That's crazy.
That's insane, dude. So, yeah. What are some of there's one very specific one for like standout one for Josh, obviously.
Yeah.
What are some of you guys like other childhood games that you played that like you really liked?
Go ahead, Jared.
Oh, well, before getting into a lot of the Dragon Ball games that we've talked about on this channel, I was actually, well, I grew up on a lot of Nintendo consoles, and the first one that I ever played was the old NES, the old brick, the gray brick. I used to play a lot of Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3. That was my jam growing up as a kid, and I remember years later my sister would get a DS, and I used to play New Super Mario Brothers, and later on Pokemon. Gen 4 was the one that I started with. One of the best generations out there. Don't at me. But outside that, loved the GameCube growing up. Had so much fun with that. Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, Super Smash Brothers Melee. I'm looking at like the games on my shelf right now for some ideas. Sonic Adventure 2, goated.
Yes,
Shadow the
sir.
Hedgehog, edgy but goated, brother.
Sure, yeah. Well, actually, yeah. Can't deny it. Won't deny it.
Exactly. With the Wii, obviously BT3, had Brawl, Wii Sports, brothers. Wii Sports. I got a lot of other ones, but those were the games that I think really shaped my preferences when it comes to gaming. And I need to start exploring a bit more, I'll be honest. A lot of times I buy like very similar games because obviously I enjoy them, but it'd be good to expand the horizon when it comes to playing certain games. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you? Go ahead.
I think for me, growing up, the games that I really gravitated towards were the ones on like PlayStation, and then I gravitated towards some Nintendo games too. But for PlayStation, I remember playing a lot of Thrillville growing up. I remember getting obsessed with Thrillville and thinking it was like the best game in the world, but the game often got very boring towards the end of it because I was a kid and I didn't know what I was doing. I played a lot of old games that my dad would have me play, like Gauntlet, and there's some others I can't remember. Like Doom was one of those games I played a little bit too. But they were older games, so I don't remember them at all. There's a lot of games I don't remember playing, but one of the games I do remember playing and enjoying was Ratchet & Clank, like the whole series and everything. Jak and Daxter I barely remember, but I remember enjoying that too. But Ratchet & Clank, like those games were my favorite. Like Up Your Arsenal, Deadlock, those two games were my childhood. I freaking loved those games. And then
felt so cool.
there were some Nintendo games too. Game Freak, like the Pokemon games I did get into very early at a young age. I think my first non-PC game was Fire Red or Red. It was one of the two. I think it might have been Red. And I remember loving it. I think I had Red and then I lost Red and then I got Fire Red and I loved Fire Red. That's what it was.
What an upgrade.
Yeah, and so I remember enjoying the fuck out of it. I really, really enjoyed Fire Red. And then over time, I stopped playing Pokemon. I think I played Gen 2 and then I stopped. And then I came back to it a few, like years and years later when the Kalos region came out, which is like X and Y. When that game came out, I got really back into Pokemon. I started playing like, what's that one Pokemon website? Pokemon Showdown or something like that, where you're just fighting people randomly and stuff.
Oh,
I got really into that. So I got into that. It was really fun. But nowadays, like growing up, I always played Roblox. That was always like my go-to answer. I still enjoy it. It's still really fun. But now it's more so like work than just like logging in and playing games every day. So I work on it more than I play games on it, which isn't bad. It's just that's what it is at the moment for me. It's mainly my job. But I need to get into games. I have this issue where I stick to one console, like PlayStation for example, but I don't I never got a Switch, and there's so many Switch games I see that I want to play. Like the Switch Sports game, that one looks so much fun, but I never bought a Switch, and I feel like we're gonna get a new console from Nintendo in a year or two, so I don't really want to get a Switch at this point because I feel like it's too late.
Yeah, there's been some hypothetical talks on a Switch 2 as of recently.
Yeah, okay. Sheesh. For me, I was gonna say, I grew up alongside these guys, mainly Yosh. So we played similar games. They're not like entirely, but actually we kind of did it. We actually did. You and I did definitely play different games. We definitely had different styles. But Jared and I, at least within the Sonic games and the Dragon Ball games, Star Wars Battlefront 2, like I was really into as well. Star Wars Battlefront. I was really into. Again, mainly the second one. I played that a lot with our other friend, Super A-Cam. And then what else? Oh, since I grew up with PlayStation, just having PlayStations, when I was very young, I was very much into Crash Bandicoot, into Spyro, and stuff like that. I was also into Nintendo, like Mario, like Super Mario Galaxy and all that kind of stuff, Super Mario Brothers, WarioWare Smooth Moves. And then once I got into the PS3, Sonic 2006, for some reason I really freaking wanted that game. Don't know why. Well, no, I don't know why actually. I really wanted that game. That's what made me want to. That's what made me want a PS3. But got to play that game. Didn't beat it because buggy, glitchy, whatever. But I got to the very end, and yeah, it just got too hard for me, I guess. Then I really enjoyed the Prototype series. Prototype. Either of you guys played Prototype?
Only with you. I never really had it.
Yeah, nah, but Prototype was fun. Infamous?
Oh yeah.
No? Alright, now Infamous
I played a little bit.
What, sorry?
I played Infamous a little bit, but it was like you introduced me to it, and then I think I never bought the game, but whenever I came over, we played it a few times.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun game. They were both,
Very
pretty
fun.
similar, but yeah, they're both cool. Trying to think after that, it's pretty much I got into, since I was more of a teenager, like 15, 16, and I got an Xbox One. I was playing more shooters like Call of Duty, Titanfall, Dead Rising 3 was my first Xbox One game. And I would say that during the time of my Xbox One, I enjoyed the Black Ops 3 days the most. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Then I got into PC gaming in 2021. I like those like horror-esque indie games. Hopefully I can get some of those onto the No Respawn channel. We've mentioned previously before too, that we go ahead and play some games or something like that, that we find a list on or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. That we make a short list on short horror games or something like that. But yeah, Phasmophobia, like I said, Spin Around was based on Phasmophobia. So yeah, that pretty much does it for that segment. But sheesh. Sparking Zero is what I really want to get into now, and I do want to also check out the Silent Hill series now that that's back out, I guess. I don't necessarily know what the story was with that game, but I thought that they had shut down or whatever. But it looks like they're back. I hope.
Yeah.
If not, I'll come back with knowledge of that in the next episode. Go ahead.
Yeah, is the new game a remake or something, was it?
I think it's a remake, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I've never played the series.
Now, what do you think? Between Up Your Arsenal and Deadlock, which one did you enjoy the most?
Ooh. You know, I think Up Your Arsenal is a more complete game. Deadlock honestly feels like it should have just been like a DLC to a game. Because I could be completely wrong when I say this, but Deadlock felt really short. Up Your Arsenal felt like I was in a universe, like I was in the galaxy, traversing, going everywhere. I felt like Up Your Arsenal was a massive game compared to Deadlock. But Deadlock really fixed the issues. If I'm correct with the timeline of Deadlock coming out after Up Your Arsenal, Deadlock felt like it fixed a lot of the issues I had with Up Your Arsenal. Because Up Your Arsenal had some confusion points that were just not too fun. But Deadlock's story was low-key better. But Up Your Arsenal had more to do, so I'm going to vote. I would say Up Your Arsenal because it had a little bit more to do. But Deadlock was such a good game. Like, very close. Have you guys played them enough to choose one between the two?
Deadlock felt like the combat system, I guess, felt a little bit better, or like it felt better to play like, I don't want to say in single player, but like felt more challenging, I guess, as a single player game. Yeah. And Up Your Arsenal had the better, like you said, terrain and all that kind of stuff overall. But what do you think, Jared?
Well, to be honest with y'all, haven't played it.
Damn, either of them?
Dude,
no.
They're good games.
Nintendo boy.
It's definitely your vibe. You would like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
No,
really
yeah,
good games.
you would. You would actually. Yeah, I can see Up Your Arsenal being more your vibe. Nah, both of them. Because no, you like what's it called? God, what's that game called?
What?
The one where you just kill demons.
Let's just kill demons.
Yeah. It's like super.
I mean, what, like Doom?
Yeah, Doom.
That's like Doom.
Doom.
Yeah. Bro, anything can play Doom.
Dude. Oh yeah, when they reverse engineered it.
Oh, yeah, brother. Everything is
All
doomed.
right. Well, what are some things that we're looking forward to this month? Because I feel like, October was, plentiful. I'd say that, more content. I'm going to go ahead and upload on the Respawn channel, and the audience and everybody else can also go ahead and hold me up to that. Now that Phasmophobia is on console, we can maybe do some cross-playing or something. But yeah, besides that, because right now it's fall, so I'd like to go ahead and, like I said, get something like that. No Respawn is also hopefully a place for some video essay type, material, specifically on Dragon Ball Z lore, since we have a resident Dragon Ball Z enthusiast. So, just saying. But yeah. If anybody's interested in Dragon Ball lore, yeah, No Respawn's probably the place to go to, hopefully sometime soon for it. But with that being said, that's probably it for November. There's probably not only that. Go ahead and keep checking out MidFall.99 on Instagram /Cursed Realm Crypt on Instagram as well, where you can see art. We'll keep up with some other MidFall stuff. and also just keep listening to the music, and keep your ears out for new music, new designs, stuff like that, because we're gonna open up the shop pretty soon as well. That's also another thing that I'd like to get done in November. Have just product available. So yeah. What about you guys?
Yeah, for me, I really want to get, like, us talking about these games we grew up on really made me reminisce a little bit. So I want to figure out if there's a way for me to get one of those games. Maybe it's like Lego Star Wars, or maybe it's Ratchet and Clank on Steam. If any of them are on Steam, I think Lego Star Wars is. Just doing a playthrough. Like, maybe it's not the most popular game in the world, but it's a game that I know I can have fun on. I think that's what it comes down to. That's what No Respawn, that's what I want it to be eventually, where it's just a game that any of us can come on to and record and put on a No Respawn. As long as it's not like the worst game in the world, like, can't be on YouTube type of thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, especially because, once we said it before, right, we have music playing right now, so we also want to put out more of that music that we have, like this background music, to go ahead and chill to. We want to be able to hang out with you guys, have you guys hang out with us. We can also just talk about stuff, on the No Respawn channel. More stuff of what we like.
Yeah, No Respawn's definitely going to have like a focus on shorts once we get those out. I tried to do some shorts on the first video and I couldn't find any moments necessarily, but I'm going to try to do some on the future videos because I know there are some on the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero series. And then I can see a lot of shorts coming from the No Respawn channel in general, just to help get that channel out there. It's not just going to be me, it's going to be all of us, whether it be individually or together, recording videos on it. So don't be surprised if you see random videos uploaded anytime throughout the week.
Yes, sir. What about you, J-Rod?
For this month, honestly, looking forward to sleeping. Sleeping is gonna be one of my top 3 things that
Sleeping?
I'm really excited about. But outside of that, I'm really excited to get back into the groove of making more music, not only just for myself, but also for the MidFall channels as well. And what Luis was alluding to, maybe some Dragon Ball content on my side. Who knows there. Also, Luis, we need to get you on Project 06, bro. We need to get you on Project 06. You were talking about, oh man, I love friggin' Sonic 06, bro. Project 06. There you go.
Oh yeah, dude, Project 06, dude. Speaking of which, I need to get a picture of these things, but Jack, my girlfriend, has some shoes that remind me exactly of Shadow the Hedgehog, and like Shadow the Hedgehog shoes. And she didn't know who Shadow was. And she was like, I thought that was just anti-Sonic, Dark Sonic or something. And I was like, no. I was like, what? They look completely different. And I was just like, man. And I am over here questioning how people in Sonic Adventure 2 were like, dude, it's the same guy. I'm like, okay, wow, there are people like that. But one of them happens to be my girlfriend. No, but she didn't know that he had a name and everything. So I'm like, okay.
Oh.
But I basically,
we sure have to make a video with her playing it. She has to play one of the Sonic games as Shadow.
So now she's just been sending me memes of Shadow. And also, yeah, she has Shadow looking ass shoes. And I hope to put a picture of it somewhere. But yeah.
Yeah, you gotta show us it soon.
But yeah, with all that being said, I think that's gonna be it for this episode. We hope to go see you guys on the next one. Let's see, who's hosting on the next one?
Gonna be me.
gonna be Mr. Yosh. So, please have your eyes and ears ready for what Mr. Yosh has prepared for us. And we hope that you have a good week. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Go ahead and again, look at the link tree down in the description. Follow No Respawn on YouTube. Follow MidFall.99 on Instagram. Follow Black Pumpkin Boyo on Instagram. Follow Cursed Rum Crypt on Instagram. And Yosh and J-Rod on Instagram. All that in the link tree down below. Stream Black MidFall. Please. Spinning round. Again.
Listen
at
to
least
it.
that.
Enjoy it.
Kicking back. And Red Staying to pick a classic. 3 songs to check out. Jared, right now, go.
Alright, spinning around, double down on that. Freaking great song. Kicking back, fire. And also, Friday the 13th. Secret lore about Friday the 13th that y'all didn't know. That was the first song that Luis and I put on SoundCloud, so it holds a very special place in my heart. Go listen to that one. That one is very, very good. Very good.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. It is. And then we chopped and screwed it. I did. But we chopped and screwed it. Because then Jared, Jared chopped and screwed it. He followed through with it. Besides that, No Respawn. Check it out. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero videos on there now. Keep your eyes open for the Cursed Realm Crypt store. Again, hopefully available this month and open this month. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Like and subscribe, share, everything. Goodbye.
Yeah.
See y'all.